Hello and welcome to a very smooth beginning of episode 228. And welcome, Paul Tassi. How you doing?
Look at that. It looks
Good.
great.
Good to be here.
Do you want to know why that
My
was
entire face
failing?
visible now? Yes, it is. Okay, perfect.
Do you guys want to know why Briar couldn't resize the windows? Do we want to take a guess? Let's take some guesses in chat.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean resize the windows?
What could have been wrong with OBS to where Briar couldn't resize our webcam windows? Here, Briar was using the wrong keyboard.
It's very confusing to have two keyboards on your desk at all times. Sometimes you mess it up.
Drugs, beer. The guesses are beer and drugs.
I miss Tafty. Tafty, unfortunately, couldn't be with us. He's in basic training for NARC school.
Yep, NARC school. The official NARC Academy.
But I got to say, he looks good in those sunglasses and cap.
He does.
Yeah, right? I mean, very striking profile.
I love the realization, Briar, where you're like, guys, I'm kind of a dumbass.
I mean, it's been a pretty slow upward rising to that realization. It started when I was 2 years old. And we haven't quite figured out the extremities yet. So it's episode, I'm sorry, I forgot again, 228 of DCP Live.
Yeah.
And it's going swimmingly so far. We
Yeah.
got a lot to talk about.
Yep.
We got some awesome Twitter questions. We got Paul Tassi on the show.
Paul Tassi, who knows all about the new trendy lore that's going on in the world.
And I think the question on everybody's mind right now is, which is it? Team Monster or Team Dino?
Obviously, Team Dino. I mean,
Obviously.
even Luke Smith just came out for Team Dino. It's like rigged. It's like, what do how are you going to compete with that? They did Monsters already. The Dinos are Dinobots. Like, they're clearly going to win. I don't even think it's a contest.
I forgot that they did Monsters already, but they did, right? Watts?
They're like different monsters. They're like spooky monsters, and these are like giant monsters. But
Yeah, well, like last Halloween, we had the werewolf, we had a vampire, which you could say is or is not a monster. I don't know, up to you. And then there was the what was the Titan? Oh, Frankenstein.
it was Frankenstein. Yeah.
Is there a debate on whether a vampire is a monster?
I mean, it's like
They're very sentient and
it's not
smart.
a traditional monster.
Like back in the day when they first were like on screen, I would say they were like definitely part of the like classic movie monster, lineup. But these days it's like, anywhere from Blade to Edward Cullen. So it's a wider range.
Yeah. Edward Cullen is the ultimate monster.
Yeah, just Edward Cullen armor, just his face.
That's what I want. Diamond armor.
Yeah, sparkly shader.
Sparkly diamond armor.
Please.
Where's that armor, Bungie? So, we got a lot to talk about. What do you guys want to start with first? Obviously, Team Dino's going to win. We all know that.
We want to start with the revelations of this week.
Okay. I mean, should we explain what we're talking about with Team Dino, first team monster?
We could.
Bungie put out a tweet basically just like showing off two different theoretical versions of armor that could come out for Festival of the Lost next year.
Mm-hmm.
One is kind of a monster themed setup with a Cyclops. I think it's a merman, but Paul's telling me it's some kind of
merman,
like crazy ass.
merman. They look like the necks in Valheim.
A little bit.
It's from Clash of the Titans from like the 70s. It's whatever
Kraken?
the big sea monster was.
Yeah.
Was it the Kraken? Yeah. I thought it was a creature from the Black Lagoon, but it's not.
A swampy sea guy.
Yeah.
Swampy sea guy, but giant.
Yes.
And then Godzilla, which doesn't look very Godzilla to me. I'm not gonna lie.
You keep saying that. I don't know why you say what else would that be? It's very clearly Godzilla.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't say Godzilla. It says like one of those like little lizards with the poisonous teeth.
Also scary. But,
Also scary. Yes. But the dinos, man, they say dinos all over them, right? The raptor for the hunter, the triceratops for the warlock, and the T-Rex for the help me out here.
Titan.
Titan, thank you.
Progressively getting worse. Briar
Yeah,
first. It's all started with Briar forgetting who Cade was.
This is true.
That's where it began. It's all
Run
been
off the
downhill
rails.
since then.
They look like Dinobots to me. They look awesome. They look really
They look
cool.
very cool.
Yeah, they're extremely good, and I don't think it's gonna be close. Like we can't see the poll results right now, but just going by social media, like Team Dino is like the number 3 trend in the US right now.
That's a pretty strong indication of what might be winning.
I think it's kind of set here, but
do other games trend on Twitter as much as Destiny does? Because I feel like Destiny's like constantly trending for some reason or another.
Minecraft and all the Minecraft creators trend all the time. I always see them.
Okay,
but
I saw that Sega was trending a couple of weeks ago, but I was really disappointed after posting pictures of my Sega 32X Tower of Power. It was about a soccer player, apparently. You're right. Very, very disappointing. I felt left out. What else we got this week?
Reset had some story stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Two different things pretty much happened. No like new quests or anything, but we got new Battlegrounds mission, which is investigating this plot to apparently assassinate Zavala.
Yeah.
That I believe is either coming from Keitel or it's coming from like a faction of Scions under Keitel. But we did this mission for Crow, and we found out that they had this like portable light disrupting device that can like knock out your ghost and render you vulnerable. It's based on this. They've actually been planning this lore seed for a long time. Like there was lore in the past about how they were researching the light stealing tech from Gaul, or the cage you put over the Traveler, and their research made a little portable version of that, so they can just kind of zap a Guardian's light away, and that is how they're going to try and kill Zavala apparently. And the actual missions we had to do was like do 4 lost sectors, so it wasn't exactly anything new or groundbreaking in that regard. But it was there were some good Crow moments, and he's slowly kind of proving himself. And I still think this is all heading to him being Hunter Vanguard. I think they are on this trajectory of him sort of rising up in the ranks here to be trusted by everyone. And then obviously there's going to have to be like a big reveal to everyone who is not. I think Osiris is the only one who really knows who he is besides us. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's where we are now.
Would you guys be upset if Zavala died?
They're not going to kill Zavala.
I'd be upset.
Lance? No way.
I don't want to lose Lance.
That's it. Me too. I don't want to lose Lance.
I love Lance. He's amazing. He's so involved with the Destiny community and the game in general that losing him would be real sad.
Zavala's a narc. I could care less if he lives or dies, but I don't want to lose.
But Lance,
I don't want to lose Lance Reddick, because that meme he did a couple weeks ago was so hilarious, man.
It was amazing.
Hey, Watts, you're right. He's been pretty involved with the Destiny community. We should have asked him to be on the show.
I would if I could. Maybe if I will reach out to Mechanize, who managed to get Zavala to Lance to read the Zavala meme. I'll say, Mech, what did you do? Maybe we can create a DCP
which
meme.
Destiny people does he follow? He's got to follow some of the Destiny people.
Yeah.
He's got to follow a person.
I mean, Watts, you've got a blue check mark. It's time to start using that for evil. We need to abuse that blue check mark, Watts.
If he checks the verified person tab, he'll see me there.
He follows Bungie. Got that.
Okay.
Like the official Bungie account, so we can talk to Griffin. Okay. He follows Bife.
Oh, there we go. That's our end.
Destiny 2 accounts. That's all I got. So apparently he really likes Bife. All right, we'll talk to Bife.
we'll have Bife do a little.
All right, you got to DM him.
Yeah. we need to get it in with Lance Reddick. Also, Lance Reddick, possibly the most manly name of all time.
It is like a superhero name in a comic book.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
This is the episode where we're just gonna say how much we love Lance so that he'll come on the
we
show.
clip this and send it to him. Be
Yeah.
like, hey,
Yeah.
this is the show for you.
See how much we love you.
Hey guys, looking forward to playing Trials next weekend?
This weekend? Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Any
We getting
weekend
geared up?
ever again?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about all of that because we haven't even talked about the actual conspiracy of what happened.
Oh, okay.
The
What's the
big
conspiracy?
brain, the hockey. Yeah, dude,
Hockey
I
wooden
was.
trading.
Side note: I definitely have a hockey shirt somewhere,
Okay.
and I was very excited to wear it tomorrow for trials.
And well, Trials unfortunately has been put on hold indefinitely.
Not
Again,
indefinitely.
for like the fourth time.
Paul, do you want to explain the hockey thing? I'm sure you probably.
Oh God. Okay. Well,
the basics.
I
You don't
can't.
need to...
I don't even like fully comprehend it, but like it was something about how all these different teams, especially in some certain regions, like I think China and Brazil, like kind of started this versions of this whole thing where teams would go into a game and you would kind of signal that you were part of like the win trading group by wearing, two of your players would wear hockey emblems, and then a third player would wear something else, like a Vice emblem or something. And then once you were in that, you would friend the person who didn't have a hockey emblem, and then you would like message them on Steam, and you'd play essentially like Steam rock, paper, scissors. You'd do like a random number generator, and whoever had the higher number would win, and whoever had the lower number would lose. And when you set this up, you have like burner accounts and you have your real accounts. And so depending on the outcome of that, you would switch to your fake accounts, like in your cards that don't matter if you were going to lose. And then the people who are going to win stay on their real card. And then you go back in with the rejoin feature. That's like what allows for all this, is people quitting and being able to rejoin their teammates. It's supposed to be used for disconnects, but here we are. And then so it was essentially, it was both impossible to lose, and it wasn't really affecting anyone who was like really playing trials. Like they weren't stealing wins from anyone who wanted wins.
Right.
So it wasn't really cheating per se. And yet the stats said that something like 70% of all flawless tickets that weekend were 5 kills or under, which would have to be essentially people using this method.
Yeah.
So like win trading is not a new thing necessarily. I think this just sort of like the cat went out of the bag, and it blew up in public to such a degree that they couldn't ignore it. And then it just kind of cycled and kept increasing in volume to the point where they had to do something. But now I don't know what they do outside of disable rejoin, but there's always going to be win trading to some extent. So I'm very curious what the fix is for this.
Yeah, it's kind of another show of, hey, people would do anything other than actually play the game. They will jump off the map, they'll win trades, they'll cheat, they'll DDoS, but playing trials, it's a little too much there. I don't know about that.
I feel like the path though is like, if there is an easy path for anything, people will do it. Like if you could complete a GM Nightfall by hiding in a corner, doing nothing and spinning in a circle for 45 minutes, people would do that instead of running.
Or what we like to call Destiny 1 Nightfalls.
Yeah, with Icebreaker, yes. Like people would do it. So I don't know if there's any like way to make trials fun and rewarding enough that would totally kill something like this off. I think it doesn't really help the case for like trials, need to revamp and stuff. Like obviously it does, but this is something that I feel like would probably happen either way, like just because of the ease of getting loot, and especially flawless loot. I mean, no matter what they do to trials, like getting the high-end loot would still be challenging to some degree, and they're not going to change that fundamental concept. So back to the drawing board for how to prevent stuff like this, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if the juice is worth the squeeze on this one, because you're taking it down to prevent cheaters who aren't actually harming anybody. I mean, you could argue they're devaluing the loot, but they're not actually hurting the people who are actually playing legitimate trials, are they?
I don't think so. Like it does devalue the experience, but I think most people who are like into trials and wanted to play trials legit are suffering from this for no real reason other than like other people are getting loot they're not good enough to get, which like it's not great, but I don't know if it's worth like, okay, we're going to cancel trials for like a month or whatever it ends up being. Like, hopefully it's not that long, but I could see them like this, like maybe this week because it's still so new. But if this becomes like an extended thing, I don't think it's worth just shelving trials again for X amount of time.
Right.
I think that's doing more harm than good at that point.
Yeah.
Especially as this new stuff that people want to get. Like if they put the new stuff early on in a card, like that's gonna be great. People are gonna want to go get that. And maybe that's how you prevent it a little bit. You just put all the good stuff at the beginning, and then people are like, well, I don't need to win trade. I can just jump off the map instead. Which, I don't know. Maybe they don't want people doing that either.
So later we're going to talk about how people have been doing 12 person raids. And like, they're not getting rid of raids. They're not like stopping. They're not like, well, nobody can raid until we fix this problem. So what's the difference between this and trials? Or between raids and trials, that they'll allow people to do 12-person raids and get loot pretty much as easy as pie, but for trials is somehow more sacred. That
the raid is easy anyway, so it's just like 20% faster. I don't know if you have 12 man just based on DLC. And also, I mean, I think there's a limit. There's kind of a limit to farming raids. Unlike, I feel like it'd be easier to go flawless over and over again to get adept drops as opposed to farming the raid over and over. I guess you get spoils, but I think the 12-man thing would really be a problem if it was still up for GM Nightfalls. Then I think they're running into like, okay, that's too many rewards that you're cheesing your way to. And they said they're going to get rid of it before GMs.
Yeah.
But like for now, I mean, what are they going to do? Disable raids, dungeons, and Nightfalls? Like that? I mean, maybe.
Hey.
Like, okay, you can only play Gambit now. That's all. Just
the Gambiteers are still happy until we get 12 people in there.
I'm sure there's a way somehow. No one just bothered to try because not enough people play Gambit. So.
Well,
I don't know.
Gambit is the poppin' playlist right now.
Yeah, that's true with bottom dollar. Yeah, I'm about to be Gilded Dungeon. I'm like 2 wins away from.
I'm really
Dungeon.
Close too.
Wow.
Yeah, I just hit Legend.
I'm doing.
I don't know. It seems like it's an overreaction for trials. I mean, I get it that they're devaluing the loot, but it seems like why let that affect people who are actually enjoying the playlist, enjoying the game mode right now?
It's such a no-win situation though, because like if they let it happen, people would be like, oh, you're gonna let 70% of people get the Adept Sword or whatever it was gonna be. Like,
it's a good point.
But then if they cancel it, then the other people are mad. So it's just kind of a bad situation all around. So I don't know what the correct answer is, but canceling it for longer than a week for this reason, I don't love that.
I think the problem could happen to where now a lot of people know that it's a thing. Maybe they're just concerned that all of trials is just going to be win trading. So then people actually wanting to play are like, what is going on here? So
everyone's leaving their games and
yeah. So it's just.
Maybe it gets easier to actually get some actual wins at trials because there's so many people looking for win trading. Like, well, they can't get a win trade, so we're just going to beat their ass instead.
Yeah, win trading is it's just dirty, it's just something dirty about it. It's seedy, it's gross, it's a little greasy. And it's a competitive thing, so I'm sure that's another reason why they're trying to keep the integrity of the playlist somewhat alive. But I hope I agree with you, Paul. I wouldn't like to see it canceled for a super long time because there's loot I want to get. I want to get all the armor. I want to get all the weapons. I want to try and go for different roles on them. So hopefully it doesn't take long. The wording definitely sounds like it's going to be a while because it sounds like, hey, we have to essentially rework an entire feature, which is the rejoin feature. So I think it'll be a while.
If they could just disable rejoin in the interim. I know it's a good feature when you need it, but if that was the temp fix, no more rejoin, in theory, that probably would be a good stopgap.
It's probably better than completely canceling it.
Yeah, but I don't know what the tech stuff is involved, and like that is probably not as easy as it sounds for whatever reason. So
yeah,
who knows?
Speaking of cheating at Destiny, you can do 12-man raids now, which we previously mentioned, but I haven't done this yet, and I really want to. This sounds fun as hell. Getting 12 people into a Discord and going into a raid together sounds amazing. Have you done it yet, Paul?
No, I haven't done it yet, but I've watched all the videos, and it's very fun. Just seeing like that many Thunder Crash Titans going at anything at this point is a thing of beauty. So.
It is. I was gonna say it's like a beautiful in sync dance that they're all doing together. It's great. It's I love and kind of am amazed that it doesn't break things, because we've seen people get like more Guardians in an activity than they're supposed to, and it's been kind of buggy and weird. But the fact that the whole raid just works with 12 people in it is pretty impressive, actually. That's some strong code. Good job, Punch.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, now everyone's like, okay, we'll make a 12-man raid now for real. We've seen how fun it can be, so just make one now. But again, easier said than done, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I like Bungie's reaction to this too. They say in the TWAB this week, we've been watching the 12-player raid hype and are glad you're enjoying yourselves. We aren't rushing out to fix this, and it's totally fine if you want to try it out and have some fun. Just keep in mind that we don't create these activities expecting a clown car of Guardians to roll up, so you may experience some weirdness. We are planning on fixing this before Grandmaster Nightfalls begin on March 16th, but you are free to party up until the fix goes live. So there's not going to be any repercussions for doing this. You can feel free. It's blessed by Bungie. If you want to break the game in this particular way, feel free.
Bungie doesn't tend to do that anyway. They've always had this stance of like, if you are able to take advantage of something in the game, that's our fault for having it in the game for you taking advantage of it. So they'll disable it and they'll like, work on it and fix it, but they'll never penalize the people that took advantage of it.
Yeah. Remember when Anthem was doing that? It's like people were finding exploits in Anthem and then making YouTube videos. So Anthem was banning the people. They banned
them. Yeah, they were banning people for doing that.
Well, it worked out well for Anthem, right? I can't wait for that Anthem 2.0. I know it's coming any day now.
Any day.
I'm holding my breath. What else is in the TWAB? Is there anything else in the TWAB that we should talk about?
I mean, there's a bitchin' emblem.
That's true.
That emblem's great.
That is pretty good. What's it for?
This is to do with International Women's Day. So they have an emblem that is a part of March's Women's History Month. So they're putting towards putting an emblem and a pin. The pin is also great. You can pre-order it right now on the Bungie store. It's available for pre-order. The pin is beautiful. The emblem is beautiful. It's a purple and green emblem.
God, it's like you designed it yourself.
I saw it and I was like, I think I need this emblem. I pre-ordered like 5 of them. So but it's to celebrate International Women's Day and International Women's Month, and 100% of the profits from purchases of the pin will be donated to organizations dedicated to combating the patterns of historic discrimination, harassment, abuse of women, as well as helping women pursue careers in the gaming and tech industry.
I love when Bungie does this stuff.
Yeah, any stuff that they do where you can put out a really awesome emblem and a really awesome pin, and the money that I spend goes to a good charity, I'm all about it. That's great.
So I'll always 100%. 100% of the profits.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. So like you get like a cool reward in game, you get a cool physical pin, and you feel like you did something good. You get to walk around with your head held high for the day because you did something good.
Yeah,
not bad.
The emblem is beautiful.
Yeah. I wish they would sell these in the Eververse store.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So you could just directly go in there.
You can inspect it to see the details of what it is and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I've got a bunch of these. I think the Black Lives Matter one is still on my desk. I haven't put that anywhere yet. I don't actually wear the pins. I think I get I'm more into the emblems than I am to the pins.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just get a jean jacket though, like a sweet jean jacket.
Yes.
Start loading it up with pins.
Put them all down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah. Right. Get like a picture of like a Titan pissing on a Warlock, like a Calvin on the back of a truck.
The Guardian game
just on the back of a pickup truck.
The TWAB was pretty light this week, but like there's been a bunch of cool things that have happened. Like Bungie released their Bungie Tech blog, which is super cool if you're someone who's interested in the inner workings of the tech behind making Destiny. So they have an article on there right now, which is the case of the missing rewards, and it's talking about Iron Banner and how players were having their bounties not count and they weren't getting rewards from stuff. So it's a blog about what the bug is, how they found the bug, how they're going to fix the bug. So it's really, really cool. If you're into like the nitty gritty details of coding and all of that with video games, you're going to love this blog. It's very, very cool.
I understood none of it, but
Yeah.
that bug is like one of the like most ongoing pervasive bugs. So I found it really interesting that was the one they focused on, because like that was in the game for so long, and like it's one of those bugs where it's like, why can't they just fix it? It's so obvious, like it's happening, and then here's 12,000 words on why it was so hard to fix, which is that's game development. That's how it works. So I think it's a great feature, even if I will continue to understand probably none of it. But
yeah, it's very, very cool. Especially like if you're someone who's studying to get into game dev and maybe you're looking at Bungie as a potential place you want to work, like this stuff must be fascinating because they even show you the specific code for everything. So they really get into detail there. So that's very cool. And then there was also the Bungie ride along for the Deepstone Crypt, where they got a bunch of devs together to talk about Deepstone Crypt. They show, as they normally do in these things, like the concept art and talk about their inspirations and all that stuff. So definitely watch that if you haven't, because those ride-alongs are always so good.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm looking forward to it, though. These are always good. It was good?
Yeah.
Did they show a lot of like the art, like the concept art?
Yeah, they had a good amount of it, and they had like early test footage for some of the mechanics they were doing and stuff like that. And so it was pretty interesting. And they have another tech thing in the TWAB about they're talking a little bit about why enemies are teleporting all over the place.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting because they talk about how the flamethrowers, the Cabal flamethrowers in particular, are like so taxing on on the network because of like the fire effects and stuff, that like that's especially in battlegrounds, that's why everything is teleporting around, because they have like so many incinerators on screen at a time, and it's pretty interesting. I don't know when it's gonna be fixed, but
I love that they're doing this, where they're really kind of giving you a glimpse into what it's like maintaining Destiny. So I like it. It's good.
Yeah, they're like, look at all this massive work we have to do all the
Look
time.
at this mess. It's a giant mess.
Everything is harder than you think. But well, they have, so in the TWAB, they didn't talk about this really, but they have the lead image is Glycon. They talk about it in the intro a little bit, but we did also get new Glycon content this week in terms of another full set of voice lines, which half of it is like Osiris talking to Keitel about kind of Callus going nuts, and how he had the Crown of Sorrow ported over to the ship for his various experiments. And I don't know if you glitch into it or it's a secret, but like Crown of Sorrow is like it's in a room in the ship somewhere. Like people have found the Crown of Sorrow in one of the areas. But
oh man,
there we go.
What's this? What's this new? What's this new hell?
What is this new hell I have found myself in? For audio listeners, Briar's camera just turned off.
Okay.
This is a perfectly well-oiled podcast machine.
Yep, it's all good.
Well, Briar, it's time to load up one of those delicious images that you took of yourself, preferably on a barbecue.
Just slowly over the course of the podcast, we all just convert into images. And it's just still photos talking until
unbelievable.
Briar, make sure you're using the right keyboard, whatever you do.
Come back soon, Tafty.
How did that just suddenly happen? But
I don't know.
Did you bump something?
No. Okay. I did switch over. So I was using like a USB charger into my camera that charged the battery as I used the camera, and I just switched over to like one of those like dummy batteries, so it's getting power right from AC. That apparently isn't working. Maybe it overheated. Maybe the camera overheated. That's a possibility.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Right.
I'm not gonna care about it today.
Well, for our audio listeners, it doesn't matter, but
it doesn't matter. Yeah, for the audio guys, everything is smooth as butter.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? Oh, Glycon. Yeah. Okay. So, in the other half, we start to hear from the quote unknown guardian, who is slowly kind of witnessing all the crazy stuff that Callus is doing with the Scorn, and is like, maybe this was a bad idea, and I should have come here. He's the guy that we see strung up at the end, And I thought there was maybe only going to be like 3 weeks of new dialogue that just kind of repeats over and over again, but that does not seem to be true. Like I did not take away from what we heard this week that was going to be the end at all. So I don't know how many weeks are planned. I know that there's kind of 9 weeks for new lore and new data pads and stuff. I would be impressed if they had 9 weeks of dialogue planned out, but they said they wanted to try different storytelling things, so it's possible. I feel a little overwhelmed with all this stuff because it's like, okay, I heard the lore, I got the data pad and the lore, and it's like, oh, but there's rotating sets of scannables that have additional story components, and there's like 4 or 5 a week, and you can't do them all at the same time, and like if you miss a week, you have to catch up, and that part has been a little overwhelming for me, and where I've kind of drawn the line. But the quest itself, now that you can kind of just run it without a timer because there's no reason to do master anymore, really, it's nice to just kind of go in every week and experience the new lore.
Yeah, I actually like that they're doing this because these missions are always super cool. They're also super expensive and time consuming to make. So I'm happy that they're finding a way to, yeah, if they put random roles in there, people would play it for the random roles, but I like that they're using it as a way of telling the story because these missions are always fun and they're always so well made and they're always really cool, but eventually you're like, I'm kind of just gonna stop running it. But being able to experience the story through running it, I've really enjoyed. So I'm
I mean, the roles, like I kind of forget about the roles. Like I get one at the end, but I'm not really like doing it for the roles. I'm mostly doing it for the story. So that's been I'll keep doing it as long as there's new content. And I think it's better than what we had with the Rivals, where there was like, it was a repeating cycle of 3 where they would change the mission a little bit, but then it was just like one, a couple lines from Eris at the very end was what would change.
Yeah.
And even that had a pretty short limit, but this is like I don't know how many of these are going to do, but it's like a full new conversation every single time you go on the ship, which is pretty fascinating. So I really enjoy the way that they're doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I think, did Bive put out his video yet? I know he was putting out a video on like the dark story behind the ship.
I'll have to double check. I thought that was out, but
because I even I would just want to listen to all of the lore from start to finish in a video would be great, because then you just have the whole thing from start to finish.
Once this is all over, to just watch it all in a stream would be helpful. I'm sure someone will clip that and just upload the whole conversations as one string. But
yes,
and all the scannables that I keep missing. So
yes, the scannables that I definitely always miss at least one every time I go and do the thing.
Yeah.
Bife's video is up apparently.
Oh, it is
so
up.
I will check that out for the lore on the because it's about the Glycon, I believe. I'll check that out.
This Briar's new photo, I see.
I'm just gonna keep adding random stuff to it, I guess.
Why not? It's gonna be great.
That's perfect.
What else? I don't think there was really much else in the TWAB. Just more Prime Gaming stuff. Known issues. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And of
course, we had the hotfix this week that fixed some things, like the Umbral. One of the Umbrals was stuck, and a couple, and Presage wasn't giving pinnacles, which it is now.
Yes.
So they fixed some stuff, and I think everyone thought that the 12-man was going to be patched from that hotfix, and it wasn't. So perfect.
No, they're like, we can leave this until GMs. We don't need to. We don't need to rush it out.
And then the only other thing in the game this week was Fallen Saber Nightfall for double loots, which I got in trouble because I said I don't like Fallen Saber on Twitter, and everyone got mad at me. So,
I haven't played Fallen Saber yet. I'm slacking. I need to.
It's fine. I don't know. It doesn't feel the same way as Sepic's returning, where it's like, wow, it's like so alive and so full of enemies, and like it just, I don't know. It's not my favorite. Like, I don't like the war set part. I don't like the electric hallway part. The boss room is challenging, and like I'll give it that. It's just then they health gated the boss now, because that's like everything has to be health gated now. So that's kind of annoying. That
wasn't one of my favorite SC1 strikes, so I wasn't that excited about coming back.
Yeah, I think there are better old strikes for sure, but it's like, they're kind of limited by what's on the Cosmodrome and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, Sepix is definitely hard to follow. It's a classic Destiny raid. The music is super good. The not raid, strike. The strike is just a really solid strike. I haven't played it yet. I'll see. The only thing I remember from D1 really is being around the Warsat and crying in the nightfall and just praying that it finally ends.
PSA to everyone, please shoot the turrets off of the fallen skiffs, or else you will just get hammered forever. So that is very important. I've been using pretty much nothing but Risk Runner in all these runs because it's just this entire strike is like arc damage, the strike.
Yeah.
And Risk Runner gives you overload. So even though SMG overload kind of sucks, it's still, I think that's a really good choice. I mean, I don't know about GMs, but for right now, it seems fine.
Yeah.
That
I remember in D1 using the gauntlets for Arc Strider that make you invisible. And I would just go invisible constantly
and
at the beginning
people?
of that strike. Yep, that's what I was saying. You're dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm invisible. I'm going to go get you up. And eventually you'll finish capturing the Warsat thing. And then you can go do the strike.
That Warsat part was such a pain.
It was hard. Yeah, it was
the
difficult.
GM is going to be a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, sure is.
The final boss room in GM, I don't even know how that's going to work.
I don't know. Bubbles and wells and
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I think the strike that I would really like to see come back would be the night one, the Dark Blade.
Dark Blade. Yeah, that one was so good.
It was such a good pair of strikes. Dark Blade and Shield Brothers was in those were fantastic. But I mean, I'm not going to rule out the Dreadnought coming back eventually. Like I think they said they're not going to bring it back for the Witch Queen, or like there is no old D1 area coming back for the Witch Queen, I don't think. But if they're ever going to bring another D1 area back, I feel like it should be the Dreadnought or part of the Dreadnought. Like I just don't really care about most of Venus or like the other part of Mars. Like I don't know. I would want the Dreadnought over everything else. Pretty much.
Yeah. The Dreadnought was like a very special location because it was the first one that had a bunch of secrets in it where you could run around and be like, what is this weird chest thing? Oh, you can't open it.
This buff I'm getting from this worm smoke. Like, what are these invisible platforms? Yeah, there was infinite amounts of those things.
Yeah. I had a great time on the Dreadnought.
Yeah,
I think they'll do it because I think the next raid they'll do after VOG is King's Fall. I think that'll be like a year and a half from now or 2 years from now. But we got another 3 expansions to go now with Witch Queen, Lightfall, and Mystery final expansion. So I think there's plenty of time to bring the Dreadnought back over that period of time.
Yeah. You guys want to do Twitter questions?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, that is about right with time.
Code Bond. Somebody was making fun of me last week because the meme was that they put on Twitter was Tefty intros the show, and then I immediately say, "You guys want to do Twitter questions?"
Yeah, it's accurate. We'll be in the middle of like a very intricate lore retelling of something that's
Twitter
blowing
questions.
your mind, and then Briar's like, "So Twitter question." We'll start the twat. We'll be like, "This week at Bungie," and Briar's like,
"Twitter questions." Codebond says, always look forward to Thursday evenings to catch up on the DCP happenings. This is an old classic that someone used to ask, what is Paul Tassi's favorite drink in Snake?
Oh, we did this one a long time ago, I swear. I think I did this one too. I don't remember what I said though. I think I said Cobra.
Ooh.
And then
like
drink.
Cobra Kai?
Yeah, the Cobra Kai, obviously.
Obviously.
Drink these days, probably an old fashioned, even though it's boring.
Old fashioned with a Cobra on your shoulder.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
With Cobra venom in it. Tefty gave me my first old fashioned of all time. Or like the first one I ever had. Yeah. While we were doing karaoke.
Oh, it was during karaoke?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever tried one.
It's interesting. Wow. I would not have thought of that as a traditional karaoke drink, but
you just, it's all you can drink and you just keep drinking.
Yeah, I'll take what they hand me, you know what I'm saying?
At that point, you're just like, what's that? Sure, I'll drink it.
James Carey says, we have quite a big gap until the next event in the roadmap calendar. Is Bungie smart to space stuff out like that, or should there have been something in between? What's next on the roadmap?
The strike?
Let me pull that up.
The new strike?
I mean,
there is a month break.
Oh, okay, that's
Nope,
significant.
that's the Season of Arrival's roadmap. What did I do with the chosen roadmap? Everything's just on my desktop as loose icons.
Oh, wow.
Okay. The strike is March 30th. Oh wait, no, no. The early. So if you have the season pass, it's March 23rd.
Okay, that's still a ways away.
Yeah. So well, we're in the month. We're in the month gap right now on the calendar.
Right.
So technically, stuff is still happening. Like they have the last thing listed is the Oracle Battleground on the 23rd, but we've had like story developments and things like that still happening. So like I assume this Zavala assassination thing is going to play out. I don't think he's getting assassinated, but I think that will be, I mean, maybe next week or the week after. And then I'm guessing the Proving Ground strike is against Keitel, like as revenge or whatever. And that'll be a major story beat on its own. Again, don't think we're going to kill Keitel, but I'm guessing she's a boss or one of her super lieutenants is or something. But
yeah.
And then everyone else gets it a week later when it's the Nightfall. And then after it's just Iron Banner and Guardian Games.
What if the Crow steps in front of this light killing thing in front of Zavala and saves the day?
He's not going to do that. I'm telling you, he's a bad guy. He's not going to sacrifice himself.
Not a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
It's not a bad guy.
Briar hates the Crow.
I've come to regret tweeting anything about Crow, positive or negative, on Twitter because he's just such a controversial character at this point. Like, there's no winning. Like, I can say he's great, and then I get a lot of hate, and I can say he's terrible, and I get even more hate. So most people seem to love New Crow. But
yeah, most people seem to. I think after it all plays out, we'll have to reach out to Brandon O'Neill and be like, want to come on and talk about all the stuff that's happened? Because it's really interesting. I keep saying that the way that the Crow and the Prince Uldren is played in terms of voice acting and all of that is so different. I would love to get the insight on how he decided to play Crow and where that comes from.
Yeah,
people thought they changed his voice actor because he's like such a different.
Yeah, he's so different.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote an article today about how I think Crow is essentially the main character of Destiny right now, like more so than even us, because like he has an actual arc like that is very clear. He's like an actual character in the story, and like we're killing a bunch of things and whatever, but like we're kind of his supporting cast on his journey rather than like anything that significant happening to us directly. So it's like his journey from, the Uldren journey, but then Spider being a slave and now coming into the Vanguard and helping out there. And then again, I think he's going to be Hunter Vanguard. So they haven't really done that before. Like they haven't put this much kind of time and writing and voice acting energy into a single character. Like Zavala has a lot of voice work, but like how much has Zavala really changed
right
in 7 years? Not a bunch. So I think that's pretty cool.
Blink 148 says, any thoughts on last week's TWAB that might have changed since? I kind of often have different thoughts after day of release. Typically not major changes in thoughts, but enough to count. Anybody had time to reflect on last week's news and have different thoughts about it?
I need to look it up.
I was going to say, the problem is I forget things that happened 5 minutes ago, so I probably don't remember what was in the last 12.
Well, the last 12 was nothing because it was right after the big announcement and the big state of the game thing.
Yeah.
So that was like, I mean, I've been reflecting on all that stuff because that was all pretty huge.
Yeah.
The only thing in the TWAB was like they're probably increasing the ritual weapon drop rate at some point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still trying to process all the stuff from the state of the game, but I still fundamentally think it's overwhelmingly positive. And I mean, well, I will say in the past week, sunsetting, like the lack of sunsetting has really helped the grinds. Like it just feels better now, like to farm things. Like the bottom dollar I'm trying to get like is not going to be sunset after 9 months. And like everything just kind of feels better now. So I'm just even learning that knowledge, even if it's not like something they patched in, I think has helped the state of the game by itself.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they're like, oh, I now want to go out and grind that thing, whereas before I didn't want to.
Hydra I Lux Regalia says, after seeing how many people would rather win trade in trials instead of actually playing the game mode, do you think trials, more importantly, the game mode survival, is starting to show its age? Do you think it's time for trials to use a different game mode? Did they add a different game mode at the end of Destiny 1 to trials? Or am I...
Well, it was countdown, right? And it went between.
Oh, right.
Didn't it go between countdown and survival for trials?
No.
It like went for Trials of the Nine.
I don't think survival was part of it, was it?
But then they switched to elimination with Trials of Osiris.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's like a game mode problem. I think it's more the format of trials in general. I think people are having problems with how the ticket's been working, and like Bungie's already said they want to address some of those problems. Like they don't want people to automatically reset after a single loss. They want more people to get to 3 wins and 5 wins. Like that, I think is the main issue with trials right now, rather than like the game like mode itself being the problem, I think.
Yeah, I think probably the best thing that they could do is do the changes that they're wanting to do for like allowing more people to have access to more of the trials loot, for it not to be like very alienating for people that aren't PvP pro players. And then see how that goes. And then if that is still not working out, then you can start looking at the game mode. But I think, like you said, there's so many other things that are wrong with trials where people don't want to just waste their time. The biggest thing is just it doesn't respect players' time being in there.
No, it does not.
Does not at all. So hopefully, when they address that, more people want to play. And then if they don't, they can look at like switching up more stuff. But I think it's like cheating, DDoSing, win trading. All of these are a symptom of the trials playlist being super unhealthy and not respecting players' times. Those things will still exist for sure, but it's kind of blown up a ridiculous amount.
Kessler23632 says, so there's been a lot of talk about auto-deleting rare items. What if rare weapons and armor were just converted into legendaries and then given random rolls? This would help the lack of drops out a bit, as who even uses rares past leveling anyways? I don't know that they'd be just converted into legendaries. You'd get a shit ton of legendaries.
Yeah, the volume problem would still be there. You know, it doesn't matter if I'm deleting 3 blues that suck or 3 purples that suck. Like, it's the same. This is also one of those things where I think that kind of sounds good, but they have to balance every single weapon they give random rolls to. So like if you just like, I get that they could use the models of these guns, and many of them already are legendary. Like there's legendary versions of a lot of them, not all of them, but if they did that with all the rest of them, then that would be kind of a lot more work than it sounds right now. But I agree, like who uses blues past, initial leveling, and that's why I'm still for kind of just auto deleting blues or having them not drop at all after you hit the cap or whatever. So
yeah,
it remains I'd say this is a big problem. And like I know it sounds like a small thing, but like I've spent days of my life deleting blues at this point. And like after every single thing you do in the game, it is exhausting to have to do that.
It's a
and
constant
like, I don't,
small annoyance. Going to the post.
I don't know why it hasn't
there
been,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't been fixed yet. Like it's such like an obvious thing that like everybody hates that, and they're so good at addressing so many other things that I just don't get why this has not been dealt with.
Inverted DJ says, do you guys think that Destiny would benefit from an elemental system like Genshin Impact, or does Destiny not have enough elements to make use of that type of system?
I feel like there's enough elements for them to make use of it. If they made like Solar explode and do dot damage, and then Arc could maybe like paralyze and chain lightning between people, I think they could do it. I think it'll be cool if you could like mix supers and mix your different abilities with your teammates. I think that would be really interesting. And I think that, I think like there's enough elements in Destiny for them to do that if that was something that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're probably going to get to like 6 subclass elements at some point if they add 2 more darkness classes. Yeah. I think it'd be a little tricky to do like all of the elemental interaction type things like that we see in Genshin.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I would just that would be like an extensive system, so I'd be surprised to see it. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be cool. It could be cool.
I think it would be amazing because right now like especially with weapons, it doesn't really matter. Like it makes no difference what element is. I guess when you're shooting shields, like you want to match it up. Other than that, it's like it's basically it doesn't even matter. And it'd be awesome to see them like not only matter and have different effects, but you could then grind for different weapons that have different elements based on how you want it. And then if they could interact with other elements based on what your teammate is using, that would be even more fun. I think it's something that they should be looking at in the future. I think it'd be wonderful. Mike says, do you think crossplay will come with native voice chat like Call of Duty, or will we still need to use Discord? I'm guessing Discord.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd say too. Maybe someday.
Yeah, I was something that they should definitely work on putting in there. But I wouldn't have my hopes up for it launching with the ability to talk to everybody.
Yeah, plus you want to put your memes in Discord anyway, so.
True.
Like people foot worshiping Godzilla and stuff like that. Really lewd stuff.
Yeah, that's in my search history.
Celix321 BLM says, people seem to think Amanda Holiday is into Crow. What do y'all think about Amanda Crow relationship, and how will things go when she finds out he killed Cade? Also, Tony Breyer, he needs to play Super Mario RPG on RetroSlot first.
We're not killing Breyer. We're eating him. There's a difference.
So is people me because I tweeted this like 3 hours ago?
Probably. Fill us in on the hot.
Well, okay, there's two voice things I've seen in two of the battlegrounds where I don't know. Everyone's like, "Oh, Amanda Holiday's into everybody," just because she has that like voice line about how she likes Zavala and Devram's voice or something. But I don't know. It does seem to me, at least, this is one of the tweets that got me in trouble because people have their own Crow ships going on in their heads. But it seemed to me like Amanda was potentially interested in Crow in that way. Like there's one scene where she wants to like grab a drink with them, and like maybe it's like a war buddy thing. I don't know. It could be, but I think they could also be building to something where like, okay, he wants to form some sort of relationship with somebody, but obviously if she learns his true identity, that's like a whole, that's going to mess with her mind. And how do you react to that? Like, we can see the community split already of people who still hate him for being Aldrin and people who are willing to fully embrace him as like essentially a new person. So I think that's a good conflict they could set up with a potential romance with her. And like, Lord knows Destiny is very, 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 very light on romances to the point where we have to really dig in and extract them out of the lore unless they're explicitly spelled out, like we recently did with Osiris and Saint when they started embracing that a bit more. So I don't know for sure. It's just something because I heard two battlegrounds in a row where there were Amanda and Crow conversations that like sounded pretty flirty to an extent where it made me at least think about it. But again, that alone could kind of make people mad because they want Crow to be with whoever or themselves or but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Amanda and Crow together would be. I'm kind of into that.
I'm worried for Amanda. Maybe she's gonna poison Crow. Maybe she knows.
No, she'll hook him up with all the cool yeehaw weapons, and Crow will come out dual wielding. Crow's gonna bring us dual wielding.
Ooh,
what do you think now, Brian?
So shoot us in the face twice. Blade Cook says, with Crow confirming that Caitlyn with a C is trying to assassinate Zavala, do you think he will die? If so, is this why Bungie said Ikora will be playing a bigger role in the future?
No,
Ikora's playing a bigger role in the future because we just haven't seen her in a while. I think they just wanted to.
She's cool.
Yeah, reaffirm that she still exists. They're not going to kill Zavala unless Lance Reddick starts charging more money for his voice acting. Which he deserves.
I can't see them killing Zavala in seasonal content from like a villain that just showed up 3 weeks ago. Like it doesn't really. I can't buy that. But
here's a twist: Crow kills Zavala and then dies, and then gets resurrected. And like, oh, that wasn't me. That was some other dude. I just look like that other dude. You can trust me though. I'm changed.
Oh, Lord.
I'm a new man.
Here's what's going to happen. Ikora's going to go missing on her space mission. Zavala's going to get assassinated, and we're going to be left with Amanda and Crow as the new vanguards.
Amanda's not even
Amanda's stepping up.
Guardian, is she?
Yeah, she's just a pilot.
She's a pilot. She could be a Why not? She's a cool pilot.
Her and Hawthorne.
I've never actually seen her fly anything.
Hawthorne, maybe. In the cutscene?
Have you not heard all the sorties she flew for the Red War? She's always talking
Jibber
about
jabber, talk. Maybe it's stolen valor. I don't know.
She's a cowgirl. That's all that matters.
Hooley says, do you think Bungie needs to make the strike-specific loot for, like Destiny 1? I really miss the strike boss armor. Yes, I would love to see strike.
I would love that. Yeah, it's the same. It's under the same thing as investing in your core playlist, right? Where it's like maybe you don't make a new strike and you don't make new loot for Vanguard stuff, but now you have strike-specific loot slowly being added to the game. That would be. I really like strike-specific loot. It was also just cool to be wearing something that looked like it came right off of a monster that you fought, of a boss you fought, instead of just like something else.
Lord Beerus says, thoughts on the new Scout, Eternal Blazon? I got full out in kill clip. Feels like Randy's.
I haven't used it much, to be honest.
I'll let you know as soon as I get more than one that I didn't instantly shard, because World Loot Pool is impossible to farm. I want one. I was excited to see that come back, but I've rarely seen it drop.
Yeah, I haven't used it enough at all. If I'm reaching for a scout rifle, I'm probably going to be using Dead Man's Tail. Mostly, I haven't had a good one to even really try it properly.
HollowPoint503 says, after Bungie finally adds the option to change our Guardian's appearance, can we as a community agree that Paul's haircut needs to be an option? Oh, I can agree to that.
It is an Outriders, I've been told, so it's only a matter of time. That's what makes it the way to Destiny.
I hope they launch, which they should launch eventually, the ability to change your character's appearance, but I hope they launch it with a bunch of new options.
They have to.
Oh, God,
they didn't even give any new options from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah. And there wasn't a whole lot of options to begin with.
I couldn't believe when I loaded it up and it was the same creator. Like, exactly. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Ugh.
We need a Neo 2 / Code Vein character customization.
I want beards.
And beards, yes.
And beards.
I want them to stick out below my helmet.
Beards. They did beards well.
They did do good beards.
Yeah.
Big bushy ones are good. Rye says, would you want, after the pandemic calms down, a big Destiny event like Warframe's TennoCon? Would be a great way for awesome reveals and a nice way to bring the community together. Yeah, I would go to that.
GCX
isn't really about Destiny anymore, though.
It's not like solely focused on Destiny, but there is a lot of Destiny people that will always go there.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys hear about the BungieCon trademark when that was going around?
Yeah.
Okay, so like they did
ago, right?
No, okay. So like a couple of years ago, they trademarked DestinyCon.
Oh, okay.
But like the past, I think in January, but this just came out like a week or so ago. Bungie trademarked BungieCon.
This makes sense with like if they're making other titles. Yeah, they're wanting to have like their own BlizzCon type situation.
Who knows when that will happen? Obviously, it wouldn't be until the earliest 2022. But I would love to go to both GCX and a BungieCon. I mean, I can see them wanting to do that, especially if they're expanding their universe.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would go.
Hell yeah! And it might be in Seattle. I don't have to drive.
I'm almost certain it would be in Seattle.
It better be. I don't have to go anywhere. Nice.
Exactly.
Drive in the car, 20 minutes. Nice.
Ishka YouTube says, do you think the next saga of Destiny will be Destiny 3? Given the age of Destiny 2's engine and the fact that we have another 3 to 4 years of planned Destiny 2 content left, can the current game stay relevant for that long?
No. Yes, it will be Destiny 3. I don't know if they'll call it Destiny 3, but it'll be a new game for sure. After 3 more expansions on top of the ones we've already had, like, it's got to be. This is like 2024, 2025 we're talking about. Like, at that point, it wouldn't just be adding more stuff to T2. Like, they got to move on eventually.
I don't know. I half agree with you, but I also half think maybe they're just gonna kind of quietly upgrade Destiny's engine as they go along, which they have been doing. Right? It's like they've been like making incremental improvements as they go. But man, I would love to see a Destiny 3.
I think it's got to be inevitable because it'll be. I mean, that'll be the end of the original like 10-year plan or whatever they had, and then it's very clear they don't want to just we're done with Destiny now, like moving on. Like they want to do something. It's just I don't know if it'll be a numbered sequel or what, but I have to believe that in like 4 more years from now or whenever it would come out, like they still wouldn't be building on top of Destiny 2, even with upgrades. Like maybe they would upgrade the engine for a new game, but like, no, I don't expect to be using, my existing weapons and still be in the EDZ and things like that.
Maybe they'll do the classic turn the game off for a while and then turn it back on. The thing that Final Fantasy 14 did, they had this big cataclysm and the game just like they have a story that leads up to the game just going dark while they input all the new engine stuff. Boom, there you go, Destiny 3, but it's Destiny 2.
I'd be down with that.
I'd be okay with that.
Nicholas Proust says, what is the ugliest armor that an NPC wears in Destiny? Personally, I find Crow's new outfit utterly disgusting. He's ugly on the outside and on the inside.
I don't know. It's pretty cool, man. He's called Crow, and he's got a crow and like stuff on it.
He stole that from
It's cool.
He stole that from a 90s movie starring Brendan Lee. It's not even original.
Worst NPC. It's all pretty good, honestly.
I don't know. I've always thought Zavala looks kind of like a cop.
I like his giant shoulder thing, but I mean, this is pretty basic. I mean, Ikora's is barely. It's not even armor. She's just like wearing a robe.
Yeah.
You know what? I want them all to get some new clothes.
Yeah.
Crow got his new
outfit. Style redesign for all the NPCs.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Update him a little bit. Zavala grows his hair out.
Yeah, maybe he gets a beard. That's how we get beards in Destiny. Zavala is like, have you guys heard of beards?
Zavala, Zavala keeps it clean shaven. No way that dude grows a beard. Holly says, what do you think Guardian does with their free time in the last city?
Drinks a lot.
Boats
and off high buildings, vibes, just for fun.
Maybe visits their therapist, They've seen a lot of murder and death. They've died a ton.
They've seen some dark shit.
There's got to be a therapist for Guardians dealing with constantly dying and coming back to life.
Yeah.
It's got to mess you up a little bit, surely.
Yeah, you still remember the pain and stuff.
I'm sure you do, yeah.
Donnie Pezlis says, if Valheim is the prequel to Destiny, how long until the Traveler shows up? And will Tefty pick a Varlock, a Viking Warlock?
Varlock.
Well, yes, obviously he will.
Definitely. I don't know. It's got to be a couple thousand years at least. For
us, it's going to be a long time because all we do is spend hours getting copper and ores.
Oh, we killed we killed Groot.
We killed the second boss.
Yeah.
Yes, second one. Yeah.
Groot got stuck.
He managed to kill everybody, but we did it. So
yeah. Crit
Buff, I don't know.
It's got to be like, I mean, it's like 1,000 years in the future for us now, right?
I mean, to be fair, the Traveler could just show up at any point and give people the light. It could be tomorrow.
Could be. Crit Buff says, would Watts be willing to school my daughter on the ways of going invisible and clicking heads? She keeps asking how Watts goes invisible and is so good, and she never dies.
Well, I die all the time. But if you want to go invisible, actually, perfect. This season with the new Hunter chest piece, I've been loving doing the new Hunter chest piece, which gives you 2 smoke bombs, and every time you make an ally invisible, it gives you like half a melee charge. But by ally, it also counts yourself. So I've been playing Top Tree Night Stalker. You dodge, you go invisible. It gives you half a melee charge back. Use it with Rat King, which you make yourself invisible, which gives you half a melee charge back. So you just get to throw smokes all across the map. I've had people Nova Bomb my smoke. I've had people like blade barrage my smoke because they're like, oh dear God, I'm surrounded by bad guys. Because there's just radar pings everywhere. And you get damage resistance while you're invisible, which I tanked a Dawn Blade to the face while I was invisible. That was pretty cool. Yeah, so it's a good time to be an invisible hunter.
I gotta look into this.
Yeah.
It's a good time because every time it's weird because with Bottom Tree you can throw the smoke and make yourself invisible, right? But it doesn't count as you making yourself invisible as an ally with that for some reason. It only counts when you throw it at other people. But if you dodge to go invisible, kill something with Rat King and reload, if you use Middle Tree and get a headshot and go invisible, all of that counts to giving you your melee charge.
That doesn't sound right, but okay, I'll go with it.
It's great. It's fun.
Just leave that alone.
It also makes the loop, if you do want to play Bottom Tree Night Stalker, it makes that loop a little bit more reliable of keeping the buffs on people and all that stuff. Makes it a little bit more reliable, but it's great. The new Hunts chess piece is very, very fun. It's a good time.
Tony says, with the rumor of the new Nintendo Switch Pro, did you guys see this? An OLED screen?
I did.
How much does Tefty hate Briar for coercing him into buying a Nintendo Switch? Love you guys. And Warlock Master Race.
We're going to have to...
That's where Tefty is right now. He's desperately searching for the receipt for his new Nintendo Switch.
Turning the house upside down trying to find the receipt.
So we can go return it. We'll ask him on SideQuest on Monday.
We will.
James Carey, I'm sure we'll be gentle about it. James Carey says, if you had to go on a blind date with one of the enemy races, who would it be and how would the date go?
Can I just pick to go on a date with Alaku the Darkblade? Who isn't sexually attracted to Alaku the Darkblade?
My hand is staying down.
He's a badass. He's a bad. Listen, everyone loves him.
Do you think he puts out on the first date?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I bet he keeps you wanting him.
What do you think we gotta wait? Like third date, fifth date?
Ooh, how long? Alakul? You have to prove yourself to him, I'm gonna say. There's gotta be something in the lore with sword logic and hive crap that answers this question.
I know he likes the lights turned off. That's for damn sure.
He does. He likes the lights off. That's true.
Does he wear the helmet?
I hope so.
Smith's Bedford says, your mom just said that you're not allowed any cookies from the cupboard. Soon after, your sibling offered you some of his cookies from the cupboard that he is allowed to have. You instantly accept his offer. My question is, did you just steal a cookie from the cupboard? No, this is a loophole. You get
just
out.
An analogy for win trading and trials.
Oh, interesting.
This is an analogy for why does your mom hate you and your sibling is allowed to have cookies? Is it that you've eaten so many cookies that are you a bad kid? Does your mom just not love you? I don't know. What is the answer here?
That's a good question. I think we need some family therapy to figure this one out.
Why are you not allowed cookies, but your siblings are? But no, you didn't steal it. If your sibling is like, hey, you want a cookie? Like,
no,
okay, sure.
That's a cookie.
Yeah.
You get
it. Always where they came from.
Eat your cookie.
Exactly.
Adam says, what's your perfect Sunday?
Ooh.
Probably somewhere outside of Ohio. On a beach. There's no beaches here. Not during a pandemic. That would be ideal.
Yeah, right. My perfect Sunday does not include a pandemic.
But somewhere I can still also play Destiny in my hotel.
I really enjoy... I mean, I guess it's not perfect. So I'm not picking from anything in the world. But I really enjoy being like up early in the morning and being by a fire and just like hanging out, eating snacks. Maybe I'm cooking some real delicious breakfast while I'm reading by a fire with kitty cats.
I'm vibing this. This sounds good.
It's just a good time. Maybe you're a little, maybe you've had some special plants. I don't know, maybe possibly.
Like cactuses?
Like cactuses. Cactuses by the fire.
I try and plan my weekend so the work gets done on Saturday, and Sunday is like my relaxed day, my chill day.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to work. I try not to even actually come into this office on Sunday, unless it's just because I want to play a video game for my own enjoyment, right? But I try not to even enter this office on Sundays. I try to really decompress. So it almost doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's more about what I'm not doing. I'm not running errands. I'm not taking people's places. I'm not doing that kind of stuff. Like I'm just chilling out. Because I feel like it's good to have a day where you just, even if it's like I go for a hike or I take the dog out, like it's just about just not having responsibilities. I try and front load my weekend in that way.
Yeah, I do. I do the exact same thing. Because if I have a day where I'm not actually working, but I'm thinking about it, I might as well be working. It doesn't. I need the brain to rest as well as the body. I need to not think about anything. I need to know that I can have a day where I'm just doing nothing.
Yeah.
I admire you both. I wish I could do that. I just can't let go. Got to write those 5 articles every Sunday morning, regardless.
Oh boy, it's a lot of articles.
It is.
Dreadnought says, question for Watts: if there's a cat Bible, what would be some of its commandments?
A cat Bible?
Oh, do not throw your cat.
Is it written by cats, like for humans?
Yes. Are cats the target audience, or are they writing it for us? Or,
like mom must feed me every time I present my butt and face. Immediately must feed me. That's one Tobias would write for sure. I don't know why he does that. I don't know why it's the butt.
All the walls must be made out of screen door material.
All the wood is mine for the scratching, obviously. Catnip is always presentable.
Thou shalt not touch me if I do not want to be touched. But thou shalt know to touch me when I do want to be touched.
And if I come to you and ask to be touched, doesn't necessarily mean that I want to be touched. It means that I want to be near you, but no touching.
Thou shalt not covet a dog.
Perfectly fine to bring dead rats in the house. That's a good one. Mom will appreciate all my dead mouses.
Synthrider 1980X says, just want to say thank you for reading my question last week. It made my whole weekend.
Oh,
you're welcome. I also got to say, I'm tired of hearing this barbecue Briar joke every week. It's played out now, and frankly, it wasn't even funny to begin with. Dude, Synthrider, I agree. We will make immediate changes.
Is this person a real person, Briar, or is it your old friend?
How dare you? How dare you?
Is it your mom's Twitter account? She's just like, please stop talking about eating my son. It's not funny.
My mom just got cleared of cancer. Very exciting.
Awesome.
And she had her first COVID shot. So
that's
great.
I'm very excited with my mom right now.
Very cool.
All the love to Mama Briar. Mama Barbecue.
You can't eat my mother.
I'm not eating your mom. It's just her name.
It's just a name. It's fine.
She birthed such a delicious son.
Muttbeard says, what is a rich person hobby that you think you'd enjoy?
I don't know, Briar. You tell me.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's just fun to be rich. Like, they say money can't buy happiness. You know who say that? Poor people.
Being rich takes a lot of worries away.
It's fun. The funnest thing about being rich is you don't have to have just one hobby. You have like 100,000 hobbies. You want to go jet skiing today? You buy you and all your friends a jet ski.
You want to go on the moon for a weekend?
Yeah, Elon, what's up, buddy? How you been?
Let's go to the moon. Let's go play golf on the moon.
That's right.
Definitely Ferrari Fridays, though.
I think the best rich person hobby is the fact that you can do all sorts of hobbies. You're not constrained by money at all.
True.
Also, boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes.
Hugo Run 79 says, this is a long one. Buckle up.
Okay.
Uh-oh, I think I fucked it up. All right. Give me a second. I somehow
I've heard that so many times.
Not the theme of the night or anything. So.
Hugo Rune 79 says, would you rather have a pituitary gland that gives you a wish every 13 years, or a tap on your knee that gives you limitless cider. The pituitary gland does not allow you to wish for cider and will also trick you so that 40% of your wishes backfire in a humiliating way. Continued. It's also doesn't allow you to wish for infinity wishes, or that no wish should not humiliate you. On top of that, it doesn't produce iodine, so all your hormones are messed up, and you can't wish your way out of it, but you still get 60% good wishes, just not very often.
After all that, I'm going to go with the cider, honestly.
I mean,
it's too much fine print.
Yeah, it's like when you read a contract and you're just like, listen, I don't even want to try and understand what you're saying. It's too much. I didn't like the first thing I read. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. This has been devised by lawyers.
Yeah. This is the genie wishing guy, but with many lawyers.
I feel like I'm about to get fucked by all these wishes, so I'll take the free cider for life, please.
Yeah, I'll take the cider. It'll be a fun little party trick, you know?
Right? Mm-hmm. Is it like hard cider? That'd be even more fun.
What if one's hard cider and one's not hard cider? You have two needs.
Good point. I got one that's safe for work.
Family friendly and also drunk person friendly.
Party time.
Problem is, I always forget which one.
Don't give the babies the hard cider.
It just switches on you randomly. You don't know.
Oh, maybe that's the fine print.
Matt Guidry says, when Crocs finally decides to sponsor the podcast, what color will each of you get?
Oh, I want those pink and green ones you showed me, Briar.
Yeah, those were good, right?
Those were gorgeous.
They were nice. Those are very
I might just buy them.
Yeah.
I'll go with red to match, but
yeah.
It's also a DCP color.
I'm not familiar in the wide variety of Croc styles and colors, so I guess I'd have to research
they're pretty fashionable these days.
Yeah,
so I hear.
They're really making a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
I like loud colors. That way they're easy to see when I'm looking for them.
Would you go with the rainbow colors, Brian?
Yeah, sure. I'd do rainbow, like a tie-dye kind of thing. Tie-dye Crocs.
Yeah. Ooh, tie-dye Crocs sound great.
Pretty good. I would like that. I would like video game themed Crocs. Like, can I get some Destiny Crocs?
Yeah, Destiny Crocs would be cool.
Yeah.
Are those not in the Bungie store already?
They might be.
Can I say this about the Bungie store? It's like everything I've ever ordered out of that thing has been like ultra high quality, to the point where I want to know who their supplier is so that I can order more of those things. Like, I've ordered like mugs and stuff like that. I'm like, God damn, these are nice ass mugs.
I think you just meant the clothes. The clothes I've gotten from there are really good.
Yeah, they do like high quality.
Even their mask. Their mask is amazing. The mask got me through the pandemic. It's just so good.
The mask is very good. Yeah, it's kind of like what you said, Briar. I get stuff and I'm like, this is really nice. Yeah, that's nice. Kind of no matter what I get. Good store.
Not Ben says mild or spicy curry.
Spicy.
Yeah, that's a risky decision
spicy
sometimes, but it's the decision you should make.
True.
Frozzy Wazzy. The other day I saw a Snapchat story of a friend eating Cheez-Its. Today, when I was at the gas station, I had a sudden craving for Cheez-Its. What's a snack food that you would get a craving for if you saw a picture or a video of it?
I think that's just how advertising works.
Yeah, I think it's all of them.
Your friend's video sponsored by Cheez-It.
Yeah.
It might be. That's the thing. You see, that's why ads work so well. You see a thing and you're like, huh. And then next time you see them, you're like, you know what? I could go for some of that.
Yeah.
I think that would work with most
snacks. I don't hate. If I saw someone eating it, I'd be like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah, exactly. I will eat almost everything.
I have a particular weakness for those very small bags of Doritos. You know, like the ones that only have like 5 chips in them?
The 3D Doritos? Because the 3D Doritos are very tiny packages. You don't want 3D Doritos, Briar?
No, I don't even want to talk about eating.
If you guys ever have a chance to try Ariel chips, they're a Japanese chip. They are amazing. I would murder some Briar barbecue for those. Definitely.
VHRP says, What would you rather? Have no nose but have a really good smelling fingers, or be blind but have a really nice smile? Wait, can my fingers smell? Like, can my fingers sniff, or do they just smell good? Like, my fingers always smell like roses.
So you don't have a nose, but you could be like, "Hey guys, smell my fingers."
Hey, I can scratch my ass, but my fingers still smell great.
No way to bring that up.
You just go around and just go smell my fingers.
Yeah,
That would go down well.
yeah. I want good smelling fingers. I mean, I'd rather have no nose than be blind.
It's not that you can't. It's not that you can't smell it. So you literally don't have a nose.
Yeah, but I think I'd rather have no nose than be blind.
Can I taste things if I don't have a nose? Because
I think so.
Yeah, I
mean,
so.
It might taste weirder, but
you just touch them with your smelling fingers.
But do my fingers smell good, or do they smell for me?
I don't know. We're gonna need some follow up on this PHRP. We're gonna need more information next week, please.
Yes.
The Mohican 9 says your significant other has been kidnapped and is being held in a location 30 minutes away from you. While driving to rescue them, what song are you listening to?
Ooh, something that's gonna get me pumped up.
The song they played in that one Beyond Light trailer, that was really good. I still listen to that to this day.
How about Guile's theme from Street Fighter 2?
Great song. That's a good one too.
You know, I might just listen to the Demon Slayer opening. That always gets me hyped. Ready to.
Is that a Japanese cartoon?
So glad I get Demon Slayer references now. Yep.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Duo Shade says Pringles has a pizza flavored chip. Do you eat that with pineapple? I bet it would be delicious if you did.
Oh, it would be. Yeah, you eat the chip and then you just like have some pineapple next to you. That sounds. I would definitely do that.
Sweet and savory, crunchy and soft and delicious and wet. Oh, that sounds great. You wouldn't want to like serve them like that. You got to put them together like the moment before you put them in your mouth. I bet.
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, speaking of salty and sweet, in our Sugoi crate, which has the Japanese snacks, there's this chip that on one side is like a salty chip, but on the other side it's chocolate. So it's just like the perfect. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Is it a potato chip like a Pringles?
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, it's so good.
Like this here.
Just don't eat it the other way. Don't go the chocolate into the chip. It's weird. But if you go to the chip into the chocolate, it's amazing.
That sounds good.
I need more of those.
Zachary Richin says, "Hello, everyone. Okay, time for the hard question. Would you rather every time you sneezed, you go to anywhere in the world, you like get teleported anywhere in the world every time you sneeze, or every time you fart, you randomly travel 20 years to the future or past? You can't choose."
Definitely the sneeze.
Yeah, the sneeze
is just
I
like,
fart
where am I
way
gonna
more
end
often.
up?
I fart like so much more often than I sneeze.
That would be so risky. Also, do you age or do you not?
Well, I might fart too much and then like everyone I know is dead. That's just depressing.
Like, is it random? Sometimes you go back, sometimes you go forward.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I feel like that would be too risky.
Yeah. I mean, the plane bills are going to be murder, though, if every time you sneeze, you get transported somewhere else in the world.
No, but then you can make yourself. Well, yeah. If you can't pick where you go in the world, it would be pretty hard to like
get back home,
hold down a job.
Yeah.
Have a family.
What if I just stream me teleporting while I sneeze?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and you always sneeze like 5 times in a row, right? You never sneeze just once. You're always like,
it's
at least 2.
So you're like, Italy.
Going random places.
Come back.
What if you end up in like a volcano or something?
Oh, that would suck. That's game over right there.
That would suck. But I mean, I think I'd prefer to randomly go on adventures than randomly fart and my whole family's dead.
Dude, I just fart too often for this. Like sometimes I do it, I didn't even know I did it. Like at night, I'd wake up and be like 200 years later.
What are these dinosaurs around here?
It's true.
Insane. This is the last question of the night. Insane says, ultimate hot dog topping or condiment? What's the ultimate hot dog condiment?
Honestly, I like having the add everything to it. I enjoy that. But I think my favorite of all time is just having like grilled onions with ketchup.
Oh, you got to pick one.
Put it like that.
Got to pick one.
Just
gotta pick, well, then the onions. I'm a big onion fan.
Onions
and
are
garlic.
good. I don't think I've ever had just onions on a hot dog, but I bet it'd be okay.
I'm pretty sure I did that when I was a kid. When I was like,
It's hard
hey,
to pick
Mom.
one because like part of it's like combining things.
Yeah.
I had a hot dog once where they crumbled barbecue chips on it. It was really good.
Ooh.
I can see
But
that.
ketchup's probably the like correct basic answer.
I don't like ketchup by itself. I'd go mustard over ketchup.
All right.
I might go like what's that green relish? I might just go relish. That's pretty good. Probably mustard though.
Onions. Lots of onions. Onion delivery service.
Yeah, it's just a vehicle for onion.
Yeah, it is. Just an excuse for me to eat a lot of onions.
That's it. We've solved all the problems of Destiny.
All the world's questions.
As ever.
Once again, a little bit of a shorter podcast, but you know that's Tefty's fault.
Well, also we're afraid if we keep going that more things will suddenly start falling apart. You know, we started
Sure.
with
We're down to two of us on screen here.
We got Briar no webcam. Who knows what's up next?
The
We don't
wheels are wobbling on this thing going down the highway. We just want to pull over.
It's the time where you're like, guys, yes, please just pull over because I'm scared that we're gonna die. There's a wheel falling off. The roof is about to come apart. We got to end this before it all falls apart.
Yeah. Paul, where can people find you these days?
At Paul Tassi on Twitter. Google me for my articles, and I am posting a whole lot on YouTube now. So
Is
find me
the
there.
is the address is it Paul Tassi or YouTube /
No,
user?
it's not. I still don't have that.
Okay.
I can't get it to work. Just go to my Twitter and then click on the YouTube link from my Twitter.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Perfect.
What?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit, and you can post me all sorts of pictures of Crocs, which I thoroughly enjoy.
But do you like it when people send you the croc ball?
No, man, that's obscene. No upstanding man who wears Crocs, no gentleman, a Croc-wearing gentleman is not going to put Croc balls on the back of his Crocs. That's ridiculous. It's obscene. Please stop.
It just seems like such a perfect Briar product.
Ugh. Gross. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
So, yeah.